Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Today is the last and eighth session of our online internship program, jointly organized by the Youth Diplomacy Forum and the ex-Chinese Association. So we discussed in a very detail. We started from 19 November and today is the 11th December. And this is our last session, eighth session. We discussed about Pak-China relation. We discussed about the dynamics of Xinjiang, China's role in global development, sustainable development, GDI, GSI, special economic zones, Pak-China relations, China-Pakistan economic corridor, Belt and Road Initiative. And there are many other things which were discussed during this internship program. Most of the speakers, they joined us and they give us their lectures, presentations, to enhance our knowledge about the topics. All of these are experts in their relevant fields. They are working on China. They are working on China-Pakistan relations from last many years. Their degrees, their interest is in China studies, those who joined us. So today is the last session, so we will be focusing more on recommendations and suggestions for Pakistan, how we can learn from China towards economic prosperity. Because we have, in the last session, we talked about the Chinese development model. China adopted different models since its independence. China started working on its economic growth from 1970s onwards, then 1980s, 90s, and 2000 onwards. And then after 2013, CPEC and other projects, investments, Chinese export, as we also discussed that China is an export-driven country and the second largest economy across the globe. And, it is, moving forward and forward. So how we can learn from China? It's our neighboring country. It's not only our neighboring country, but it's one of the friendly country, I can say, because we share border with Afghanistan, Iran, India, and China. And I think China is the only country with which we are having, I can say, strong friendly relations, not even with Iran and Afghanistan. Only the China is the one, the only country which is having good relations. So, and I think it is the best economic model as well for us. If we want to move forward, if we want to become a prosperous country economically, so we can follow the Chinese footsteps. And as we discussed about the special economic zones, and one of our speakers last session discussed that Pakistan was a graveyard of special economic zones. So if Pakistan was, then why not now? And what will be the future of Pak-China relations, and especially how we can learn from Chinese investment. Before moving towards our speaker, I would just like to inform you, as you all know, that recently Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and not only in Riyadh, he also met other Arab leaders as well. So that was showing a picture of collaboration and peace and economic prosperity, and Arab countries are interested to work with China, to work. China is opening their investment projects in Arab world. So Azim Saab last time discussed that the Middle East and the Arab countries, they are getting more benefit. They are getting more benefit from China rather than Pakistan, because it was, I think, the right of Pakistan to get more, I can say, projects, economic prosperity, because we share borders. But unfortunately, I don't know how long it will take to get those benefits from China, because now China is moving towards Africa, Middle East, because what they have to do, they want equal prosperity for everyone. And for that purpose, they are moving towards Africa. They are moving towards other regions of the world, especially, I can say, South America as well. China is interested to invest in South America, Brazil, in African region, in Middle East as well. So I think we have to think about it, that how we can learn from China. There are lessons for Pakistan as well. Um, in last session, we were discussing about the Chinese. I can say this CPEC. This CPEC. This is basically China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So it should be that kind of project that does not create. That is not dependent on the government. I mean, it is not that like government. If any government is going to hold the position, or anyone is getting power in Pakistan, that person or that political party will not will not create any impact in a bad sense, I can say, or stop the working on CPEC or things like that. And not only that, we have to move towards further enhancement of our relations. And I think this is my personal opinion, that people to people contact, if we want to establish people to people contact, and then we will move toward business to business cooperation, that will be helpful in developing more cooperative relations between Pakistan and China. So without taking much of your time, I will be moving towards our speaker, Dr. Mahmoodul Hassan Khan. Sir, over to you. Dr. Mahmoodul Hassan Khan, I just give you, all of you a brief introduction of Dr. Saab, and then we will have his remarks. Dr. Mahmoodul Hassan Khan is the Executive Director at the Center for South Asia and International Studies. And he also joined us in previous sessions as well. So Dr. Mahmoodul Hassan Khan Saab, over to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. I have been very tirelessly listening your very interesting comments, introductory comments about how to proceed further. And you specifically mentioned the recent visit of Xi Jinping to Saudi Arabia for China-Arab investment or forum. The thing is that most of the Middle East country, mainly UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, they have rich in oil, and with special reference to Qatar, it has very big reservoir of LNG and LPG. So that's why, since China is the one of the main recipient of oil and gas in the world, because of its population, because of its manufacturing production capacity. So the naturally the tendency or trend of Chinese policy maker to get connected with these kind of country, which they have some kind of exchange, rather ideal exchange with China. So that's why having CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in Pakistan being the flagship project of BRI, the BRI concept is not primarily based on economic connectivity, trade, or regional connectivity. It has also the real central point of geopolitics, the alternativeness, because due to emerging socio-economic, geopolitical, and geostrategic trends in India-Pacific region, Central Asia, and even Southeast Asia, China badly needs the alternative in sense of regional connectivity, alternative in terms of geopolitical association, affiliation. So that's why expansion by every day is the way forward for China. Uh, 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 Unfortunately, I didn't uh, uh, participate the remaining uh, um, uh, lectures or series of lectures held by your prestigious organization. But frankly speaking, I used to watch your different videos of the each session. So I came to know that people have some kind of misconception about the so-called ironclad uh, relationship with China. Pakistan has also done a lot of good things for China, from its isolation to mainstream international politics after the visit of uh, Richard Nixon, and uh, the aviation development of China, the support of unconditional support of Pakistan to one China policy towards Taiwan, Hong Kong, and many others important, rather burning issues is commendable. So I start my recommendation from the CPEC, which I have been contributing a lot on weekly basis in Pakistan Observer and others daily newspaper, not in Pakistan but also abroad. When it was started, Pakistan badly needed the inflow of foreign direct investment, and China, being the strategic partner, had the capacity to facilitate Pakistan on that particular issue. So that's why you might be knowing that in its own regime, the president of Pakistan, Zardari Saab, used to visit every month in China because of these, you may call it the first, the state to state hardship to convince the Chinese policymaker and private sector to invest more and more in Pakistan. So it was started in Pakistan after the visit of Xi Jinping, uh, 2015 in Pakistan. So the first phase was primarily, I personally think, was ill negotiated and wrongly emphasized. So I would love to clarify these two terminology. Ill negotiated mean a lot. Most of the projects, especially in energy sector, was badly negotiated by the policymaker of Pakistan. The essential uh, 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 clause or a sense of mutual agreement was to transfer of technology after 20 or 25 or 35 years. So keeping in view the mix energy mix in Pakistan, I mean to say projects, coal, uh, gas, wind, and turbine, the main focus was on coal production, energy projects in Pakistan. So I met a lot of policymakers in Pakistan, and they were of the opinion that because of the urgency and, and, and the energy, increasing energy deficit in Pakistan, the policymaker of Pakistan thought that coal production energy projects was the way forward. If you have some kind of comparative study for the production or establishment or generation process of energy projects, you came to know that the easiest or the short span uh, uh, project is the coal projects. So that's why most of the energy projects in the phase one was coal generated projects in Pakistan, due to which we have been facing a lot of Western propaganda in terms of climate change, in terms of immense harms to biodiversity, which is not completely true. But thanks God that the Chinese modern technology and the Pakistani policymaker at last realize the dilemma or flaws in policy and put lot of filtered which saved to some extent the climate change uh, uh, degradation in Pakistan. So my humble suggestion is that so that's why the phase two has already rectified these flaws, and we are moving towards the more environment friendly projects like hydro power energy, like wind power, like green energy, solar and wind energy. So which would be a ideal mix for fulfilling the requirement of energy projects or energy consumption in Pakistan. The others, uh, and I have already written a lot of article based on my suggestion that this is the time to move towards the lithium battery production in Pakistan, which would be one of the main source of our SOUV electric vehicle in Pakistan, the domestic consumption, the industrial consumption, because of his long durability and the high qualitative consumption in Pakistan. So things are going in the right direction, and I personally know that a lot of serious negotiation have been going on for the production of lithium energy capacity in Pakistan in this regard. So I also suggested, and I again suggest that Pakistan should focus on the green revolution in agriculture sector so that we can increase our export to China. China um, uh, somehow in near future will needs the food items from Pakistan and other neighboring country to feed its ever increasing population. So in this regard, China has the ability, capacity, technological comparative advantages to facilitate this kind of transformation, transition in Pakistani agricultural sectors. And you know that during in phase one and uh, uh, and hopefully in phase two, uh, the agriculture sector cooperation will be further enhanced in terms of lot of meaningful engagement, lot of meaningful interactive transfer of technologies, research centers, hybrid seed, hybrid crops, and many more. The other things which I would love to suggest that the we have been reading, listening, and observing a lot of good things about Gwadar Seaport. And I have a lot of interactive session with Chinese embassy policymakers sitting in Beijing uh, 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 to know about what is going on in Gwadar uh, area, and especially the Gwadar Seaport. Gwadar Seaport, as we all know, or have been dubbed as the jewel of CPEC. If it is the jewel of CPEC, it should be completed as soon as possible, so that the eastern uh, connectivity of CPEC, which is on agenda, rather which has been on the agenda of Pakistan and China, to be connected with Afghanistan, being the uh, middle economic corridor to all the Central Asian countries, then Middle East and beyond, South Caucasus and Europe. So my suggestion is that the policymaker of Pakistan should convince with clear mind that Gwadar will be the mutual beneficial for Pakistan and China. Now let us talk briefly about what Pakistan can learn. Pakistan can learn how to survive in crisis management, how to survive in different socio-economic dilemmas and obstacles from China. The good things with Chinese system, which they call the whole process democracy uh, in the whole world, Pakistan should learn how to implement and follow the command of unity. The command of unity, unfortunately, has been badly missing from Pakistani politics, Pakistan society, Pakistan economic diversity. So that's why every years we have to face, unfortunately, unwanted, uncalled, so many socio-economic and geopolitical, and especially the national political obstacles in Pakistan, which is sad. And so that's why there is an urgent need to transform, or rather the post-mortem, the political system of Pakistan, and to learn, if we ready to learn the good things about the political system of China. They have their own political system, which is good for their socio-economic prosperity. Because, as said previously, that democracy is not a brand of Bata or services industries, which has very identical or replica of different ingredients. Every country had its own model of governance. The good thing is that the democracy stand only for the deliverance system, how we proceed, how we accommodate, how we maintain the socio-economic prosperity. And if you have the socio-economic prosperity with certain check and balances, the accountability, transparency, the respect for merit, for hard work, then everything will be secondary to overcome. The other things which Pakistan should learn, the art of negotiation and settlement, and especially to have diversified commercial diplomacy. Unfortunately, during the last 75 years, Pakistan has been swinging in the two different poles, two opposite directions, United States of America and literally China. So we don't have a balancing act in our foreign policy, which has marginalized our option of political maneuvering, geopolitical negotiation, because we don't have any strength. We don't have any strategic cushion to negotiate the best of good things with our neighbors, especially China, and maybe in future we may again switch our priority towards West, especially this USA and European Union. So we have to be very clear about our foreign policy priority. Yes, CPEC is good or guarantor our socio-economic prosperity, our achieving our high GDP, industrialization, energy benchmark, agriculture revolution in Pakistan. But we have to maintain a certain domain or parameter, even with good relations with all the international power brokers, European Union, Germany, Japan, and even ASEAN countries in region. So that's why, because if you know that Indian Foreign Ministry, which is called the External Affairs Ministry, has a very specialized wing, which is called the International Relation, having specialists in international law. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, we do not have a single international law PhD specialist in our foreign policy. So that's why we have been confronting a lot of defeats at the different international forums with special reference to different commercial ties and related things in Hague, in others international forums, because of any good reputed specialist having PhD in international law. So we have to have good international law experts, specialists in our foreign policy, so that we may protect the best interest of Pakistan at international level. Other thing is that there are a lot of looming threats, non-state threats, which Pakistan has been facing recently, like climate change, global warming, the degradation of biodiversity, water shortage, and many other things. So Pakistani policymakers should learn more and more from China, especially in CPEC phase 2, so that the socio-economic prosperity and massive industrialization may be achieved. My friend Musawwar Tanoli talked about the establishment of a free economic zone. So that idea primarily was not initiated or invented by China. China, as in my previous presentation, I categorically shared that Chinese policymaker borrowed this idea of industrial development from different neighboring countries. So with the virtue of their sincere, honest, visionary political leadership, they unable to overcome all these socio-economic barriers to achieve the basic goals of socio-economic prosperity in their country. So Pakistan should also learn how to facilitate and speed up the free economic zone culture in Pakistan, so that Pakistan may achieve the qualitative industrialization, socio-economic prosperity, and regional connectivity in the days to come. Thank you.